What's up, friend? Thank you so much for joining me for this 14-minute Express Pilates workout. We'll go ahead and begin in an upright kneeling position, bringing our arms up on the inhale, into prayer pose, palms facing one another, and down on the exhale. Inhale again to take your hips back, and exhale to extend the arms out in front of the body and settling into child's pose. Taking a nice long breather in child's pose before slowly coming out and into a tabletop position. Keeping those knees wide, we're flipping the left palm up and slowly bringing it through the needle as my right arm bends. And I slowly rest my head in this position, feeling that deep stretch in the back of the shoulder. Holding here for a breath. And slowly returning that left palm to the mat. Same thing on the other side. Right hand flips up towards the ceiling as we slowly extend that arm. Thread the needle, left elbow will bend as I bring my head towards the mat for a nice stretch. Beautiful job, slowly returning that hand to the mat. And from here, we'll bring our hands off, shift our weight back onto our knees, and begin again with our warm-up sequence. We have one more go round into prayer pose on the exhale. On your next inhale, shifting the hips back towards the heels. Exhale to enter child's pose. And if you haven't noticed already, I love a good warm-up. I love how it prepares the mind and the body, warms up the joints. I'm not one that can just get right into it and bust a move, so warm-ups are definitely a happy place for me. They just prime the body and the mind so well. Heading into that thread the needle, starting with the left palm facing up. Right arm bends as you lower your shoulder and head to the ground. Slowly coming out of your thread the needle on this side, replanting that left palm and beginning with the opposite hand, sliding that arm through the needle. And another great reason why we take our time on the warm-ups is that it's a huge preventer of injury, allowing us to visit the mat more often and promotes that longevity that we're all looking for. Go ahead and return that right palm to the mat. Shifting our hips back, coming off of our hands and into a seated position. Keeping those knees bent, feet flat on the mat. You can use your hands for assistance here, taking them behind the leg as we roll ourselves down to a supine position. Arms will rest at our sides. And we'll walk our feet back a step. Once you're comfortable, take a nice inhale at the bottom, and as you exhale, lifting the head, neck, shoulders, and arms off the mat as you exhale through the crunch. Inhale to come down, and on your next exhale, we're transitioning into a pelvic peel. We're lifting through the pelvis, through the lower back, squeezing through the glutes. Inhale to come down. Exhale, we're alternating back into the crunch. Inhale to come down. Next is the pelvic peel. As we exhale, we're peeling the pelvis and lower back away, squeezing those glutes, holding that squeeze through our exhale. Inhale to come down in reverse. Exhale through the crunch. Alternating through these two movements for a bit longer, making sure we're taking our time, focusing on control and precision. We're heading into the final pelvic peel of this portion of the exercise. Once you exhale and roll down, we'll extend those legs. Arms will come up behind the head. We're in a very long vertical position here. Taking a nice inhale, and as you exhale, arms will come forward, tucking our chin and heading into a roll up into the forward fold. Returning the torso to a seated position, arms extend out in front. We're headed back down in reverse on our exhale, maintaining as much control as possible, extending the arms behind the head. Exhale, roll up. And you can use your legs for assistance here as well if you need to keep a soft bend and then reach behind those legs with your hands to help you come into that sit-up position. You're always more than welcome to do that. Resetting, we have a few more. Rolling down, keeping that C-curve shape to the spine, rib cage down. Stretching everything out as we breathe in. Exhale to roll forward into a tall torso and then forward fold position. Coming out of forward fold into tall torso, we're going to transition to our next movement from here. Coming back down onto the forearms, keeping those legs extended. Beginning with our right leg, we'll take the knee back, extend, lower and lift, and reset the process, reaching maximal flexion with the knee, extending through the leg, lifting and lowering through the hip flexors and the quads. And if you can't fully extend the leg to where you can lift and lower, keeping it straight, you can always keep a soft bend there in the knee and do whatever you can. There is no wrong way to do these. You do them the best that you can, and you always have to remember that you're here, you're moving your body, and that's what counts. It doesn't have to look perfect. It's always progress over perfection here. Let's take it over to the other side, starting with our left leg. We've got a lot going on in this sequence. Our core is stabilizing us. Our quads are working hard, keeping that leg straight. Knee is working. Hips are working. You're doing a fabulous job. We're almost there. You made it to the final rep of this exercise. Once that leg gets lifted, we'll slowly bring it back down to the ground and come off of our forearms and into a tabletop position. So take your time, making your way onto hands and knees with our wrists under the shoulders and knees under hips. And from here, lunging forward with the right foot, placing it between our hands, reaching through the right arm for a nice thoracic twist. Switching sides, relaxing our back foot. And as our left arm comes down, we'll flex through our back foot, bringing our torso upright and pressing through into a standing lunge position. Arms will come overhead, shin will start in a vertical position, bending and extending through that back leg. Last two, and one. Arms can come down. Beautiful job. Slowly and gently return that back knee to the mat. Relax the back foot. Extending through the right leg, we'll bring our torso forward and get a deep stretch in the hamstrings. holding your position here and keeping that front foot planted on the mat. Go ahead and shift back into lunge. We'll return the feet to tabletop and begin again on the left side, bringing that left foot in between our hands and reaching through the left arm first. Looking at our hand as we lift it towards the sky, alternating sides. Returning the hand to the ground, flexing through that back foot as we bring our torso up to center. And from here, using our hands for assistance, pressing through the quad. Arms come up for those lunge pulses. Bending and extending through the back leg as our front knee drives forward over the toes. Beautiful job. Arms come down. Lower ourselves back down into lunge. Shift the weight back. Torso comes forward. Nice hamstring stretch. Amazing job. Slowly coming out of hamstring stretch, back into lunge, where we'll replace the foot back to tabletop. We're finishing up the session with a pigeon pose on each side. Planting my hands on the mat, I'll bring my knee forward in between them and then wiggle that right heel underneath my left hip, square those hips off, and slowly lower myself down to the mat for a very deep, piriformis glute and hamstring stretch. And typically this pigeon pose is held for 60 to 90 seconds, so we're going to be here for a bit. Go ahead and clear your mind, focus on those deep breaths, and enjoy the cool down portion of this workout. Wonderful job. We're slowly going to come out of pigeon, gently pressing our torso away, returning the heel under the same side hip before sending it back. And we'll begin the setup on the left side, shooting that left knee forward and wiggling the left heel under my right hip, squaring those hips off before sending my torso back down for a nice stretch session on this side. And well done. Gently bring yourself out of pigeon, heel under the same side hip before sending it back. You can take a seated position or a comfortable pose. You can continue your breath work here. I appreciate you spending time with me. Thank you so much for joining me for this Express Pilates workout, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, friends.